Yeah, that's going to be tough. This is not something he's used to doing. I mean, coming out of the drifting side of things, not used to leading a pack, but they will be getting the green flag here momentarily, and everybody can jump at that point in time. So here we go.
15 minutes on the board, and the pace car is off, waiting for the green flag to fly, and the starting grid is green. Here we go. Green flag. James French already 3 wide, 4 wide mid-pack there. A couple cars getting swallowed up. But Schneider takes the lead into turn 1. Bryce Mersberger in the 114 poking up the inside. He wants the lead. Big lockup from somebody midfield there as they navigate the Andretti hairpin.
Yeah, it was pretty tidy other than that one little bit of a lockup. Now we got wheel to wheel, got a bit of side-on-side action. Looks like TJ Hunt falling back into third, but he will not be happy with that position. Taken to the inside, trying to battle it back for second and getting on some wheel-to-wheel contact.
Yeah, a little slide there for TJ. He's going to watch Mersberger go to the inside of Schneider. It's going to compromise both their turn 4s. Here comes Hunt out of turn 4. He's going to have a run up to 5 if he's got a way to poke through to the left. Here comes Hunt to the inside.
Oh, so aggressive, and somebody with maybe not the traditional racecraft is going to try some stuff that nobody else will. TJ Hunt going for another dive.
But here comes French up behind him from that 9th place start. He's going to get to the inside of TJ, and they're going to go door to door through turn 6. That's not going to work, and actually French backs out. Hunt keeps third spot as they head up towards the corkscrew.
Yeah, he's going to be hunting through his mirrors all the way through, and look at how tidy everybody is. Now we're getting some side-by-side going up through this section. They're going to have to figure it out before they dive into the corkscrew, and so far we get the single file from the first part, but it's not going to stay that way into the back markers.
Down the corkscrew for the first time. Everybody pointed the right direction, almost a touch there as we sweep through Randy Curve for the first time. Andy Vogel in that pink turn-in concepts car working his way forward. Nate Hamilton trying to match his teammates' performance from yesterday, closing in on the top 10 spots. Incredible first lap. Here's a look. There was a little contact and an off earlier in the lap. This is leaving turn 4. There was a spin. Ooh, there was an incident. And I think, have they gotten back rolling? They have not. There are cars still on the racetrack over there at the exit of turn 4. So we didn't get them all back around, and there is a yellow flag now, and I think we've got a full course out. Yes, we do, lap 1.
Yeah, so we'll get them all stacked back up again. So if you enjoyed a race start that is hectic, get ready for another one while this pack gets lined up and slowed down and we get those two vehicles off track. Hopefully both drivers all right in that instant. Pretty good contact, but wow, I mean, I gotta say, for TJ Hunt doing a great job of battling things, holding on to a podium position so far, dropping back 1, but all things considered, his first time in this position. Great job for defending.
Yeah, he was really excited yesterday, and he snuck through on a restart and stole some spots, but now he's racing with the big boys up here at the front, and he's going to get the baptism of a lifetime in the next couple of minutes here, as we've got French, Volkel, Batley, Ryerson Whistle, Blair Hosey, Cole Gamma, Nico Bratz. Where is the 56 is the question. The championship leader, I do not see in the top 10. I don't think he's one of the cars, one of the incident cars, but I don't see him on the timing and scoring at all. Do you?
No, did not catch that going through. We'll get a cycle through the back section again, but I'm not seeing 56 popping up, so maybe a transponder issue, but yeah, that's
I don't see Leach on there at all. You're right. That's very odd.
Yeah. Now, I did notice on at least one of the cars a white flashing light on the roll bar. I wasn't entirely sure what that indicated, if that's something we need to be aware of.
I don't think that the only car that could be would be the white car involved there, but I don't even see him on. When they come across the scoring loop to start the race, they should populate on the ticker, and Leach's car is black and white, kind of split down the middle. I don't see him in line here, so.
Unless there was another incident somewhere else, and has yet to actually complete the lap. So we'll keep an eye out here as we come through the rest of these turns and see if we can maybe get eyes on Leach.
Yeah, I'm letting Jonathan know to see if he can track that story down for us. Again, he was supposed to start in the 5th row after a penalty from yesterday. And again, they don't necessarily update the grid if you're not going to go. So if you are out of the race for whatever reason, you can keep your grid spot, assuming that you do decide to show up. So
yeah, maybe elected not to. So yeah, there was a long night of scrutineering last night and a bunch of penalties handled out, and did shake up the order pretty heavily going into the race today.
Just keeping my eye. I still don't know. But anyways, when we get a restart here, we also have to keep in mind that we're going to restart single file. And the rules in grid life are when the flag is green and when you see that flag being waved, you can race. You don't have to wait in line. You don't have to wait to the start line, any of that. You can just go as soon as that green flag drops. It's a different rule than most motorsport series, Jacob, and that means that TJ Hunt told me yesterday that he's really good at restarts, and we saw that play out in race 2, but he just has something with his reaction time, with the gear, the RPM that he's in. He's just ready to go, and I think this will play to his advantage, but he hasn't had a restart up this close to the front yet, so I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, still seeing, kind of asked the question a little bit earlier on, I'm seeing a couple of the white flashing lights on the roll bar. TJ, notably, a few more further on in the pack. Is that what does that indicate?
They just have those for visibility. I know on the Rush SRX, the newer model that we haven't yet seen in broadcast competition just yet, that will also let you know if it's the car is in DRS or push to pass, but these cars aren't equipped with that, so it's just an extra little visibility light.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was some sort of indicator for not braking, but something. So interesting. Interesting. So TJ electing to be visible. Maybe he wants to, have his competitors see him pass him. Yeah.
And for those that are not familiar with the Rush SR, it's a sports racer built by Rush Auto Works. They start around $50,000 and are powered by a 1,000 cc GSX motorcycle engine. So pretty interesting cars, Jacob, and they've put on really good shows this weekend so far. One of the things that we were talking with John Raymond, our motorsports director, this morning, is they've been kind of playing around with the brake pads on these cars to sort of help the drivers find the limit on the brakes without swapping ends. There were some issues with, I guess we would call them issues, but just adjusting for the drivers with rear brake lockup. Okay. And you know that when you got rear brakes locking up, the brake bias is too far rearward, the car will just sort of swap ends on you. But this year we've seen a lot less of that, and that's because they've gone with a different brake pad compound, which sort of helps the bias shift forward a little bit so that the car doesn't want to change directions on you so much on the brakes.
Yeah, and with that rotation, I found out last night that if one of these vehicles spins and you don't clutch in, it actually blows the starter. The starter setup in these GSX engines kind of always, the knuckle end is always spinning, and then it just engages to actually do the starter. So if that vehicle goes backwards, you don't clutch in, and the drivetrain decides to roll backwards, it will blow the starter off it. So you throw a 180 in one of these, you don't clutch in. That's why we see drivers having to get tugged off when they're not, when it's just a normal spin.
So the cars that were involved in the incident, I think one of those cars, Villa Saldana, and then I didn't catch the numbers on the other ones, but a couple cars going on the rollbacks there, and one is being towed, one is being flatbedded, but those trucks are clearing the turn 4 area, so that means next time by we should be good to go racing.
Yeah, and the restart has been pretty much everything for a lot of these drivers, so we'll get some more eyes out here. There's another vehicle being pulled off the track.
Yeah, and again, just to finish up on the story here, is this the 30 car? So that's Villa Saldana, one of the cars involved in the incident. He's still in the car, was probably hoping just to refire it and drive away, but he could not. And lights are still flashing on the safety car, but they usually turn them out coming down through a rainy curve.
All right, so we should, fingers crossed, if there's no other drama going on, should get a restart here, and we'll watch that MX-5 that dip into the pit lane, and everybody more or less gets ready down the straight. It will get real tight on it, and there we go, see number 24 taking that flatbed off. Not a good way for Benjamin Queen.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Big damage on that car on the rollback, but heading down through rainy curve and turn 10. Field is single file. Look at the gap that James French has to TJ Hunt. Race Control is going to want him to close that gap up. You don't want to allow drivers to build runs on the cars ahead. So the front 3 are exactly as they require. And looks like French is trying to leave a little bit of space there to maybe get a jump. But again, you cannot accelerate until the green flag is out. You'll see the green on the timing and scoring. Green flag, and there we go. We're back underway here in the GRIDLIFE Rush Series, race number 3. Strong start by those top 3.
Yeah, and if French had some sort of plan to be able to gain that gap, it is not working. It might be getting passed on the outside because of it. All of our cars hard on the brakes into the Andretti hairpin. It looks like they're able to maintain most of their order. A couple of gaps established pretty early on for a few drivers. A big lockup coming into turn 2.
Yeah, so Michael Schneider leads the way. Mersberger is second in that white and red car. Then it's TJ Hunt, James French, and Andy Vogel. That's the purple and pink turn-in concepts car in trail. There's Hunt, and there's those two I just mentioned. Jalen Batley right in trail, then Ryerson Whistle, Blair Hosey, and more. Streaming through 4 and into 5, the left-hander. And Mersberger, recent winner, swept all 4 races at Autobahn Country Club just a couple of weeks ago, sitting right there in second.
Yeah, Schneider doing a great job in the lead, but already seeing that car getting a little bit squirrely, maybe not getting the tire temps he wanted to during that point of slowdown behind the pace car. But Mersberger being very, very aggressive, and it looks like Hunt is being hunted down by French coming over it. Will we get a swap out of any of these drivers into the corkscrew?
French too hard into the corkscrew, outbraked himself, and Hunt's going to take the spot back now. Have a look at the point standings as they stand for the weekend. Mersberger is actually on top of French and over the top of TJ Hunt, who sits in third in the weekend standings. That's impressive.
He's doing a great job of keeping his nerve all the way through this too. Hunt not used to this situation, but doing a great job handling it, being just having somebody like French behind him and Vogel even a little bit further back. That is a tough spot to be in. And right now, Schneider, Mersberger, everything looking pretty sorted coming down the straight, and a bit more of a dig out of that turn 11 for Schneider, and pulling a bit more of a gap on Mersberger. That is not an easy thing to do. TJ, is he going to be bold going onto the wide end of turn 2? Will he switch back in? No, and now it's going to allow French to dive in.
Oh, a little bit of contact there, and TJ didn't quite have the grip. He's going to get knocked into the dirt there, but he stays with his foot in the throttle and will hang on.
I don't think French was good. I didn't think he was expecting TJ to be able to do that. Now, he's got to calm his nerves coming through 4. Is he able to hang on to everything? He does a great job once again. Man, who would have thought?
Oh, he's off.
Oh, man.
Drops the tire, keeps his foot in it again, but that will allow French to sneak on through to 3rd place as Hosey attacks Vogel behind for 5th place.
Oh, man, and there's Whistle towing in behind, doing a great job as well, keeping in with that pack and getting a bit of a draft going. So single file up the hill into 6th. Things are looking great. But will we see a bit more of a dive through the corkscrew again? Drivers are loving to use that spot to gain a bit of proximity.
And that's Ryerson Whistle on Hosey down there into the corkscrew. Sorry, that's a Hosey on Vogel. And it looks like they're going to go side by side down the 4-story drop, and Hosey grabs the spot. I don't know that he's going to be able to keep it there with Andy's nose on the inside. Crossover here at turn 10. Watch the 34, the pink and purple car. A little sooner on throttle, and he'll try to grab it back at 11. I
am very happy that we're not really worried about track limits. This will be very different racing, and I think if you get too technical, just let him race. And look what it's providing to us, a very, very crazy run. Oh,
Cole Gamma dropping some tires at the exit of turn 11.
Able to hang on to it, so not a massive change up, but you can see officially a few drivers moving around. Whistle taking that bit of a bump up, Hosey up into 5th now, and a little bit further back we see Kim making a jump into 13th, and a few drivers getting moved around as they come across that line.
So only a couple minutes left in this race. Could be a white flag at any moment. And so if you're Michael Schneider, you're really excited about stealing a victory here in the Rush SR Series. Had a win, I think, in the SRX class at Road Atlanta, but not in this SR category, at least not lately.
No, and doing a great job out front. Has a pretty commanding lead right now, and as long as things stay tight, you don't have to get overly aggressive through any of it. This may be how things finish up, and it looks like TJ now pushed back into 4th, I believe. So dropping just a little bit, but still doing a good job of hanging in there. Hosey now starting to close the gap over Hunt, and we'll see if there is a bit more of a dive into 7 and 8.
Down the hill, French closing in on Mersberger from row 5 on the grid, just charging his way forward, and that's going to leave Schneider all out by his lonesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what Schneider could have wanted, is let French and Mersberger battle it out behind him. You're going to lose a little bit of speed when you're defending, so for Schneider, this is exactly what he's looking for. He hopes that French and Mersberger basically just battle it out for the rest of it, and he can continue that commanding lead. And French now getting in really tight through 11, going for that draft. He's going to sling things out. No, falls back into order and might make an inside dive as he comes through 1, and there it is. Can he hold on to it? Does he get the late break in? It looks like it, but can he hold it all the way through?
really late on the brakes. He almost binned the car at the corkscrew last time by, so I was curious to see if he could hang on to the braking there. There's Hosey and TJ Hunt side by side.
Yeah, and Hunt again getting very aggressive in his defense, but losing a bit of speed, and now Hosey's going to go for that dive, and it looks like French now holding on to a commanding second, stretching his legs pretty well, but I mean, for Mersberger, he will not give up. Didn't see a flag pop up on this one. This could be one of our last laps, though, as the time is ticking down.
It will be white flag next time by. Here's Hosey, light on the brakes to the inside of Hunt. This is going to compromise both their lines. Andy Vogel is going to try to pick the pocket in the number 34.
Yeah, look at Vogel setting himself up in between those two cars, waiting for that opportunity. He's got a big air dam in front of him, so he can kind of play favorites on the sides. And there we talk about drivers going for that pass through 6. Doing a great job, but who is going to come out of that 3-pack?
And 3 wide into the corkscrew. This math doesn't work, and Vogel backs out. Here they come over the top of the crest, still side by side with Hosey and TJ Hunt.
TJ just was so much nerve and defense. This is crazy, but not able to hold on to it. Now stuck on the outside of this turn. Holding on, though. Oh my gosh, TJ Hunt, where did you come from?
He wants another top 5. He could lose it there with Vogel in 6th in the background. They've got to be careful. Here comes Vogel to the outside. White flag for the race leaders, and look at this. Michael Schneider has got James French all over his rear bumper as well, so it's a battle for the win too.
Wow, this is, there is just action going everywhere. Now French going for a dive wide. Endo 2, whoa!
Late on the brakes, he's got it, he slips. Here comes Michael Schneider back on throttle a little bit sooner. They're drag racing to turn 3.
Oh, this is incredible. What a story here for French, making his way all the way from the mid-pack and now diving up and just making glorious passes and attempts and dives anywhere he can. This is the last lap for him. He's got to get this done in the next couple of corners. We already know what he likes to do in the corkscrew. Will he try that again, or will he do something crazy going into 6?
Big run to driver's right on the outside of turn 5, way later on the brakes than Michael Schneider. He steals it as they head up towards turn 6. Can Michael Schneider respond in a half a lap?
Yeah, this might be it for Schneider. We'll see. We'll see. French is just absolutely mastering the late braking. It goes just a touch wide, able to find the grip again, coming through the rumble strips. And is he going to be tidy through the corkscrew, or does he go for something big to try and increase that gap over Schneider, who is very aggressive right now?
Down the hill for the final time in race number 3. French slams down on the pavement. And don't count out Bryce Mersberger in that 114 car. He's right there as well. Charging down through Rainy Curve. Big slide for Mersberger, and French uses all the racetrack.
French is, he's not giving this up. He wants to win this by a definitive margin and show everybody why. He came out, I mean, sitting on that penalty, got pushed back and said, doesn't matter. Give me as many penalties as you want. I'm going to be back at the pack, coming through 11, everything looking tidy in your top 3. Now with a bit of a drag race coming to the line.
Last lap pass. James French steals it from Michael Schneider. Win for the number 70, Rush SR, Schneider, Mersberger. And who wins the 4th place battle? Oh boy, I think Bratz got up there in the mix as well. Hosey, Vogel, Bratz, Whistle, Spezia, and Hunt dropped to 9th.
Wow, Hunt must have had a bit of an incident a little bit later on through that run. Didn't catch it on the camera, maybe a replay later on, but Hunt, man, gives up a 2nd place start and dropping all the way down to 9th. He could only defend for so long. Maybe he just ran out of brakes and tire on that lap.
Wow, what a race. That was spectacular. And James French with that last lap pass on Michael Schneider on the outside of turn 5. Have a look at the race results here. James French, Schneider, Mersberger, they put on a show.
Yeah, Hosey, Vogel, Bratz, Whistle, Spezza, Hunt, and Batley finishes out your top 10.
You got a feel for TJ Hunt there, up inside the top 3 for most of the race. Cole Gamma, Nate Hamilton, who with his best finish of the weekend. Gage Hughes, he had a penalty early in the weekend and has rebounded up to 14th. Kyle Melnick was involved in a crash yesterday, so 15th is great for him. Then Wilson Chang, Omar Kayal, and Sebastian Beaupre, another driver that had an out. So good to see these drivers recovering and moving up into the top 20.
Yeah, Josh Langman rounds out that top 20, so crazy through there. A lot of movement through the later pack. Ryan Kitcher up into 21. Josh Robinson, Ahmed, Vincent, Brady, Frost, Neff, Hardesty, Kirsting, and Sandler round the top 30.
And J.D. Kroll, Raul Nair, and a couple drivers that didn't have the race they were hoping for. Jeff Hardesty, Brett DiGiacomo, Sam Reed, Vila Saldana, and Benjamin Chan involved in an incident. John Babbitt, I don't think he made it past the first couple of laps either, unfortunately, in that number 60 car. So unfortunate for those drivers, but let's have a look at the highlights from GridLife Rush Series race number 3. Again, we were treated to an absolutely spectacular battle. Though we did have a full course yellow early on, the rest of the race was pretty exhilarating. Here's a look at it on the start start, 3 wide in the middle, and that run to turn 2 is always exciting.
Yeah, super crazy all the way through, and it's, I mean, you wouldn't think based on that start that they finish would go, and there is that incident that brought out the yellow. Hopefully both drivers all okay, getting towed off, and that stack back up meant a crazy restart. Even though single file, it did not feel like it at any point in time in this race.
Yeah, then as you see the Andy Vogel versus Blair Hosey battle, and then we watched James French charge his way past Bryce Mersberger for second place and then began hunting down Michael Schneider in this number 2. They ran side by side for a couple of sectors there, overing and undering and everything in between. Then French made the pass on the outside of turn 5 and started to drive away, and just could not make it stick for Michael Schneider. But James French wins a race 3 for the GRIDLIFE Rush Series here at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Wow. We have one more of those.
Yes.
So if you're not ready for that, better look at the schedule that we posted in the YouTube chat and be ready for
I'm ready for
more.
it. Can we do it right now?
Well, this is going to be a fun one. Jacob, final thoughts here in race 3. We're going to get a chance to talk with our winners here in just a moment.
Just incredible, and it shows that being bold and having the nerve to go late braking is going to take you to the front of the pack. So everybody's been put on notice from French.
Yeah, so James French takes the win, and again, for Michael Schneider, Schneider led most of that race, and again, he had tried out the GRIDLIFE Rush SRX car, transitioning over to the SR for the remainder of the year, and was looking at potentially his first win of the season, but just wasn't meant to be. Did great defense for a while, but holding off a driver that has experience at high levels of Grand Am in prototype challenge machinery, that's just going to be hard math. And on the outside of turn 5, if you could ride the rim there and not get in the marbles, pretty good opportunity to make a pass out there. And of course, with French's experience and his just bravery on the brakes, Jacob, that was the thing that impressed me the most.
Yeah, that's really the story of his entire race, is that he was able to just get on the pedal a little bit earlier, coming out of a lot of the corners, but definitely getting on the other pedal much later, going into almost every one of them.
Yeah, and he continued to push on the brakes, and as well, the car's rolling over the scales there post-race. We're going to head down to Jonathan Grace, who's standing by with our second place finisher, Michael Schneider, in the number 2. Just lost it on the last lap.
Michael Schneider in second place. It was so close. You had the red number 2 out front for most of the race. Just talk me through those last couple of laps.
The last couple laps, fighting a little bit of understeer. I knew they were coming up. I could see them in the rearview mirror. So I was playing a little bit defensive, just trying to drive about 98% of the car's capability. Any mistake, and I know they'll catch up to me super fast. So kept him in my mirrors, tried to keep him on the outside, but he got a better line on the uphill portion of me. Clean pass, tried to fight to catch back up. At the end of the day, he had a better drive than me.
Well, best of luck in race 2. Is it possible to get the 2 to victory lane? Still 1 to go.
We'll make a little bit of tweaks to it and see if we can compete with them, but they got a real fast car.
Well, that's P2, guys. Let's see if we can catch up with our winner. Thanks very much, and best of luck in the afternoon. We'll speak again for the second time in victory lane this weekend to James French. Pulled off the win and did it in pretty exciting fashion. He made the move on the last lap, my friend.
Yeah, I cut it a little closer than I wanted to there, but yeah, we didn't get to start where we wanted to from yesterday. Some politicking and technical things happened, so we ended up starting 6th. But yeah, it made for some fun battles there, working the way to the front, and he did a great job defending and trying to make it difficult for me, so it was always fun to have a good scrap and battle, but yeah, got it done. It's good fun.
Talk me through that move. When did you know that the move was possible and the win was on?
So I think the big advantage for me is under the braking zone. So I was never really close enough to get it done on braking. So he would always defend to the inside and force me to the outside. And there's not a lot of grip on the outside here, so it made things very spicy. So I didn't know exactly when it was going to happen. So I just kind of tried every corner, and that one happened to stick.
Well, James French now a 2-time winner this weekend at Laguna Seca.
Thanks, John.